Hi and welcome back for another video. In this video, I am doing an unboxing of Moto G5, and this time it is going to be a live unboxing. I'm not like currently live on the YouTube, but it is just that I am doing of the voiceover at the same time I am recording the video. Earlier, I would record the video and then do the voiceover later, and because that would make the audio crisp and clear. In this case, also, I'm using a shotgun microphone. That means the sound is crisp and clear only. But the problem is that you will hear some vehicular noise, and the visuals are really stunning because I am using the outdoor lightings and it is the golden time. Now you can see that this is the box, and I had previously done the unboxing of the Moto G5 Plus, and this is the unboxing of Moto G5. It is going to be a really stunning unboxing. Actually, I have already watched some reviews and read some reviews, and they are talking about this smartphone, and they are saying that they are quite disappointed with the specifications. I don't know why they are quite disappointed. Maybe they are comparing this smartphone with the Xiaomi counterparts. The Xiaomi counterpart is good, comes with good specifications, but you should not compare that smartphone with a brand smartphone. Of course, the Xiaomi right now is the most recognized and the most demanded brand, and in fact they sell a lot of units the moment they launch. The only problem is getting the hands on those smartphone. Well, you have to order that at 12 p.m. exact, and that is very difficult for those who are working people. They cannot place an order at that time if they don't take a leave. So now, as you can see, these are the specifications on the device, and before going to the specifications, I would like to show you one more thing, and that is this cover on the this packaging, this box of the smartphone, and it is kind of beautiful. It is same, it is thick, it is same just like Moto G5 Plus, and you can see that this has some feathers of macaw, making me remember the movie Rio. It was an animation movie. The bird was just like this, and they made the memories rekindle. So now let's cut the seal open and then see the specifications. Actually, let's first see the specifications. So it has 12.7 centimeters of screen, and then you have it is a full HD display. It has a 1080p display, and then you have an octa-core processor. It is 1.4 GHz octa-core processor, and the camera is 13 megapixel and 5 megapixel on the front. You get a 2800 mAh battery, which they say that it lasts all day. I doubt this, so I doubt it. Why? Well, because it is just 2800 mAh, and that does not mean that it will last all day. And then I'm also kind of doubtful about the charger they are providing, because even though it is a 10-watt charger, and then even though it is a rapid charger, I doubt that it will charge fast, because the charger that came with the Moto G5 Plus was also the same, but it did not have the ability to charge fast. The charging took about 3.5 hours to charge completely. I mean 3 hours 15 minutes to be precise. So that is a long time to charge a smartphone. If you look at the other Lenovo smartphones that I had reviewed and the Samsung smartphones, the Lenovo smartphones especially, they charge so fast that you won't even believe. The Moto G4 Play, that smartphone charged like in 1.75 hours. That is 1 hour and 50 minutes. That's how fast the smartphone charged, and that was a great feature for Moto G4 Play. Now in this case, let us see, I have been rambling a lot, so now let us cut the seal open and remove the items one by one. The unboxing is going to be kind of interesting. So this is the device, and the very moment you open the top lid of the cover, you will see that there is this smartphone with large bezels and has some things written on it, and that are these key specifications. And it supports dual SIM, it has a fingerprint scanner, and everything is being mentioned on the device. So now let's get this device out of the box and keep it aside and remove the other items from the box. Let me zoom out so that I can quickly remove the items from the box. So this is the top cover, and here are some of the in-box items. So now you can see that this is your charger, kind of large. This one is kind of big. Why not? It is 10 watt charger, and removing it might take some time, but I'll do that later. So now you can see from the wrapper itself that this is a good kind of charger, thick one, and it is certainly a bit different than the Moto G5 Plus. So now let me not open that and then keep it aside. And now you can see that we have some other items, like we have the USB cable right over here. I think I can remove this since it is openable. I don't have to tear that down. So this is a white color charger. It's white color USB cable, sorry for that, and it is very beautiful. It's kind of very beautiful. It's white in color, but over time it is going to get red anyhow. And now this is the microphone. This is the headset that get with the smartphone, and it is also sort of beautiful, and you can see that. And since I am currently outdoors, and you can clearly see this in good lightings, and it is perfectly nice. So let me keep it aside, and you can see that there is a battery, which means that the battery on our Moto G5 is removable, and on G5 Plus it was not removable battery. And in this case, this is interesting that they have provided a removable battery. That means if you run out of battery, you can keep an additional battery with you and charge it, and then insert it and remove the original battery. So that means you don't have a pin. You don't get a pin to remove the SIM card tray and insert the SIM card tray. That means you have to open the complete back cover to put your SIM card and SD cards. And this is the battery. It's very thin compared to the other smartphone batteries I have seen till date. Usually they are very thick, but this one is quite thin. When I mean it is quite thin, that means it is really very, very thin, and you can actually see that the batteries of other smartphones are not actually this thin, and they have really done a great job. I'm emphasizing more on this because yes, it is thin. Exactly. So now let us proceed and keep the battery aside and remove the paperwork that they have provided here. And these are the paperwork here. There are a lot of booklets that they have provided. Not all of them are worth reading. You just need to read through some of those. Even if you don't read, it is not a big deal. You get warranty cards and all that, and then you get a user guide and all that, which you can use. Actually every smartphone comes with this, and some are readable and some are not. And they also talk about how you should use the smartphone, how you should insert the battery and all that, which I'm going to do separately. I mean, I'm going to do a tutorial on how to insert SIM card and SD card. Since it is already getting dark, let me keep all the items back inside and come back to you after inserting the battery in Moto G5, and I will show you the display of the smartphone. So okay, I'm done installing the battery in the smartphone. I have not done the first boot. I will do the first boot while looking at the smartphone itself, while giving my first thoughts on the smartphone. While I was inserting the battery, I noticed certain things, and that I think that I might have to tell you that. So this smartphone is quite a bit different compared to the Moto G5 Plus. And if you have not seen the unboxing of Moto G5 Plus, I will put the link down in the description. But you can see that this smartphone is kind of different compared to the Moto G5 Plus. Let me get this film out because that is not allowing me to see inside of the smartphone. Don't know if it has 2.5 the Gorilla Glass protection or not, but looking at it, it does not seem that it has. So now I think I have to invest a bit of money in order to get that. So I skipped the first boot part because it was taking my attention away from the smartphone. As you can see, this smartphone has quite a bit of thickness. It is unlike compared to the Moto G5 Plus. On Moto G5 Plus, you had a protruding camera, and in this case you don't have a protruding camera. The smartphone was very slim, but this smartphone is quite thick. That means, and because of this, the camera is inside the smartphone, not outside the smartphone. It's not protruding. And in Moto G5 Plus, the smartphone was very thin, but the camera was thick and it was protruding outside the smartphone. And that is the good thing about this smartphone, that it does not feel like you have an object coming out of your smartphone. And in this case, the design aspect is also different, and it looks better and beautiful than the Moto G5 Plus. And you will be able to see that when I compare the two smartphones, and I'm going to compare the two smartphones, and that will be a very interesting thing and fun to watch. And now, as you can see, on this side you have the volume rockers and the power button. So both of them are on the same side, and that is on the right side of the smartphone. And usually in every Lenovo and Moto smartphones, they are on the right side of the smartphone. And just like it is just like every other smartphone, every Moto smartphone. And on this side, everything is clear. There is nothing on this side, and you can see that too. I had to zoom in there. Now let me see this side here. On this side, as you can see, we have only the USB port. This is a micro USB port. If we turn to this side, you can see that we have only 3.5 mm jack. I would like to make a comment about the thickness of this smartphone once again. It's quite a bit thick and tough and hard, and it has some weight to it. And it is not lighter than the Moto G5 Plus, but it is quite a bit heavy, and you will feel the weight when you hold it in the hand. But compared to other smartphone, it is of course thin and lightweight. But if you look at the G5 Plus, it is not that lightweight. It has some thickness to it, and it has some stiffness and toughness in this area, which is very delicate when it comes to Moto G5 Plus. And I know I'm comparing it a lot to the Moto G5 Plus, even though both of them are on rival website. The G5 is on the Amazon, and the G5 Plus comes on Flipkart. They gave a lot of good offers, and you could save a lot of money if you had bought the G5 Plus. But on G5, you could not actually save a lot of money, and even if you save some money, you would have to invest that on the Amazon itself. So it has every other feature that is kind of cool, just like the G5 Plus. And now let me open the screen and show you how the screen is, and it's kind of beautiful. And this time I was not greeted with the feathers of the macaw, but it was completely different. It has some color patterns over there, and you can see the very moment you open the screen, you will be greeted with the Amazon applications. You have Amazon shopping app, you have Amazon video app, it is a Prime Video app, then you have Amazon Kindle, and of course if you log in through your ID, you are going to get some free ebooks, and that you might be able to read only on this one. So I'm currently signed out and have not signed into that. Now you can see that this is the front screen of the Moto G5 Plus. And now if I pull this up, you can see that these are the applications that have been installed. It is completely stock Android experience, but you have some cool features that come only with the Moto series. And then you have only Google applications installed on it, along with some of the Amazon applications. You have Google Duo also there installed on this device, and that is also a good thing now that they are giving Duo with the smartphone itself. Now you can see that the display is slipping down. Well, it looks like it has a sleep mode enabled, and you can see the auto rotate is already enabled. And the brightness, you can see this is the brightness right now, and the time and the dates are wrong. I have to set that. And now actually the date is right, but the time is wrong. So now let me open the settings screen so that we can see what they have to offer here. The moment you open the settings screen, you can see that it is asking you, it is giving you some suggestions. It is giving you a suggestion to do and have a screen lock, and it is also asking you to personalize the screen, which I will do later. But right now, what is important is to see the storage that they have given, the display they have given, and then the about phone section is also important, because a lot of people just look at the about phone section every time I try to sell them the used smartphone. And you can see, let us first go to the about device section, and in this case, the moment you open it, you will be able to see the status, system updates. You will be seeing some regulatory information. You have to go in, you have to click there to see the regulatory information. Then you have the Moto number, model number, and it is Moto G5. And the software variant, they are giving you Amazon India. And then you have software channel, again the same thing. You have hardware information, you have Android version, security patch detail, you have build number, you have kernel version written on it. And I think it is clearly visible on the screen, since it is, I'm not in the good lighting conditions. Now let me go in and select the hardware information so that you can see some of the specifications. Now this is the one area where I am disappointed with the Moto G5, and that is the internal memory. The internal memory on Moto G5 is merely 16 GB, which is kind of not good. I'm not kind of very in on a 16 GB memory. They should have also launched a 32 GB variant, but then again, it would have made no difference with the Moto G5 Plus. So the 16 GB is actually kind of a disappointment. And now, as you can see, you can look at the SKU version, you can look at the PVT version, and then you can look at the camera, then you can look at the dual sim. It is a true dual sim. I think now it is visible onto the screen. The back button, the menu button, and the home button are not on the screen. They're actually on the screen but not on the bezels. These are not physical, they are all capacitive. The fingerprint button is here, and then there is a microphone over here. And then if you look at here, you have a speaker which you will actually use for phone calls and all that. Then you have a front camera over here. The display is actually dying very quickly. Now let me go and change the time it takes to turn off the display. And now, where is the display option? So I have changed the time it takes to put the display into sleep. I have now made it to 30 minutes, so it is not going to disturb me now. Now let us see what amount of storage, how much amount of storage it has, and it clearly writes it down on the smartphone screen itself. It has 16 GB, but what you have available is 10.03 GB. And out of that also 520 MB is already used. So that means you are getting only 9.5 or 9.8 GB of storage with Moto G5, which is not bad. But then if you install 1 or 2 games extra, that is going to be over within few minutes. And then, as you can see in memory, the average memory right now that is being consumed is 0.95 GB, 91 GB of 2.8 GB. So it is actually 3 GB, but then again you have only 2.8 available out of that 3 GB, and out of that 2.8, the smartphone is using 0.91 GB. I have currently not signed in the smartphone as a user, which I will do that later. Of course, this is my hands-on on the device, but it is a detailed unboxing. Everything that I can show you of the smartphone, I am trying to show you. And by the time the lights go off, by the time the sun goes down, I will be recording this one, and you will be seeing what this smartphone has to offer. Now let's go and see what apps are already installed. So as you can see, this is list of all the applications that are already installed on the device. You have cloud printing, and then all of the other apps are system applications, which makes no difference if you see them or not. Now let's go back and see the other things like security on the smartphone. So these are all the security options that are available. For screen lock, all I have to do is swipe, and then you have password visible, which has to be changed. Then you have storage type. Now if I try to change that, will it change? So the storage is, I am unable to do anything there. So it also allows you to install a SD card into the smartphone, and it also allows you to install certificates from the SD card, which is certainly of no use to general people. Now let me go back and give you my final thoughts on this device. This device is of course a great option if you want to buy. It does not, I believe, come with a 2.5D glass, which means that you have to buy a tempered glass for it separately, which is not easily available in the offline market. That means I have to order it and wait for it to arrive, to come to for some days. Now you can see the smartphone is kind of beautiful and the design is a bit different. A very bold move here. They have done a complete they went to the drawing board and did a new design. They have completely changed the design and it is looking good, but it is not one of the best. And it looks premium, but again not one of the best. The edges, the sides are chamfered, and they have some cuts over here, and you can see that here also you can see that. And then this is for noise cancellation, which means when you are recording video, this would cancel the noise that it gets into the microphone and the smartphone. The back has a good color. I mean, it is not at all a fingerprint magnet. I am trying to move my finger over there, and I'm trying to put my fingerprints on there, but it is not at all taking that. And you can see the camera is adding to the beauty. If there is anything that is adding to the beauty, is the camera. So apart from that, the other things like thickness is actually kind of not so good, because they should have actually worked on the thickness. They should have given less thickness to the smartphone, but they went with adding some thickness. For a smartphone that is this price point, the thickness is actually too much. The Samsung Galaxy On it is also not this thick. Yes, of course, this thickness is more than that comes at this price point. Now let me tell you about the functioning of the smartphone, the speed of the smartphone. As far as I could see, as far as I could do the toggling and transit on the smartphone, it feels that the touch is smooth. And then it also feels that the smartphone is responsive. Then it also feels that the display is sharp and quite beautiful. And there is no lag when I am doing the transitioning in the smartphone. And the apps are limited, which means that you have to install a lot of extra applications. You also have to install some of the Google applications also, like if you use Google Keep, you have to install that. If you use Google Sheets, you have to install that. So there is a lot of installation that you have to still do. But then again, everything else comes with the smartphone, like Google Drive comes with the smartphone. So this smartphone is a complete package. Yes, of course, it is not a match to the rival, but it offers you uniqueness. But there are smartphones that are available from lower brands that go way beyond the quality of this smartphone, just like Huawei Honor 6X. It's much better in terms of internal memory. It comes with 32 GB of internal memory. Then you have Xiaomi smartphone, again has 32 GB internal memory. It has only 16. And you have many other smartphones that have better internal memory than the Moto G5. And in fact, the Moto G5 Plus is a complete package. Now, do I recommend you buying the smartphone? Of course, indeed, I will recommend you to make a purchase of this smartphone. This smartphone is definitely worth buying at this price point. Do I recommend any other smartphone like Xiaomi or Huawei 6S? Of course not. I am not a big fan of Xiaomi smartphone. If I have to pick up any smartphone between Xiaomi or Moto G5, I would personally go with the Moto G5. Well, because it is a brand and you might get a service center near you, but Xiaomi has too many apps installed which I don't like to be there on the smartphone. So this is how you do it. This is how the smartphone is, and this is how the smartphone performs, and I have shown you everything. And this was the detailed unboxing that I could do. So anyways guys, thanks for watching. I will meet you next time in another video where I will be giving you some speed tests of this smartphone. Until then, have a good day and I will meet you next time.